My name is Jasmine Jones. I live in Kansas City, Missouri. I guess the identifying as the mother that I already am is definitely a spiritual and resilient mother of Crimson, my baby Crimson, yes. So Crimson definitely, she was an old soul. Like she's definitely one that could like look at you and tell if like kind of she liked you or not, or kind of like if you were looking at her, she was really good at like staring back, like staring you in your eyes, like she just looked at you deep into your eyes. And that's one thing I used to love about her. With any other mom bragging about their child and how beautiful they are, like I would brag about like my daughter is like the most beautifulest girl ever. She had so much hair that I got to play with, and then she's like all the nurses too at the hospital and the NICU was just kind of like hyping it up, like she's so beautiful and all this. So like for sure her beauty. Our story with her diagnosis actually started while I was pregnant. So about like 12 weeks pregnant. So she was diagnosed with CDH, congenital diaphragmatic hernia, while I was pregnant. And so we had a lot of doctor's visits, like a lot of meetings and all that. And so in a sense, we kind of had to grieve what a typical normal pregnancy would be like. And then from there, she was born, and we just thought she was just like the most, of course, beautiful, gorgeous gift that like God has ever given us. And then from there, it's just kind of working through her diagnosis while she was here on the earth. When a child does, get diagnosed with CDH, it's such a broad spectrum on how likely their survival rate will be. So throughout the pregnancy, we were told many different statistics or numbers that we were kind of like holding on to, as far as like still that hope of like, okay, hopefully she'll be on like the better side of all this. As she came closer to being born, she did have, she was on the lower end of the spectrum as far as her I guess longevity and like survival rate. And so us as being parents, we're just like we're gonna tough through this as long as we possibly can. Miss Crimson Layla Zola was born September 14th, and I don't remember a lot of it, but what I do remember is that they came in and let me touch her for a little bit. I didn't get to hold her, but I did get to like, touch her and see her. And I was out. It didn't dawn on me that this little person came out of me. Like I actually pushed a little person out of me. And so she was born. She automatically got a tube put in because one of her lungs didn't form all the way. One side of her lungs didn't form all the way. She was supposed to have surgery to close up the hernia. They're trying to schedule it like 2 days after she was born, but she came crashing down. So the day she was born, I had to make a decision of whether she got surgery that day. And so within 24 hours, like already, like her diagnosis was just hitting us over the head. And so we end up go ahead and have her have the surgery. After that, she was placed on ECMO, which they do say babies who are placed on ECMO do have a lower chance of survival after that, which is still something that we didn't think about because, again, hope. And so she was placed on ECMO right after that, and she was placed on it for about 2 days. And from there, she seemed to be not fine, but at least awake enough to where they had the machines going and she was pretty much awake. And so we got to spend time with her, like seeing how her personality is, how it develops and stuff like that. Throughout the way, there were a lot of decisions to be made. She definitely could not breathe on her own throughout the whole process. And she was also just like an energetic, squirmy little thing. And so a lot of times they had to kind of make sure she slept a lot because she would try to breathe over the machine. And so a lot of decisions were made on like different medications that she was going to be put on. the different variations of the machine and how she's breathing. They did a lot of guessing and experiments with her machine, her breathing machine. Also, let's see what else. I would say the VEC was definitely it makes them paralyzed, like where they go to sleep, they still can hear and feel everything, but that was definitely one of the hardest medications that to put her on, just because she needed it, because again she was breathing over the machine, and it wasn't helping her at all to be awake. But to seeing your child just lay there, it was really hard. That was definitely like one of the toughest decisions to make for her. She also had another surgery. It was with her heart that they had to do I believe it's a catheter. They had to look through her heart, just to make sure like her heart functions were fine and stuff like that. So baby girl, she went through a lot within those 5 months.